The massive silver ship appeared above Earth's moon without warning. No one on Earth had ever seen anything like it. The ship was 10 times bigger than Earth's largest space station. Its surface was smooth and bright like a mirror. Strange lights moved across its hull in patterns that hurt human eyes to watch. Admiral Sarah Chen stood in the command center of Earth's orbital defense platform. She was a small woman with gray hair and sharp eyes. She had spent 30 years in space, but she had never seen anything like this ship. Her hands were steady as she watched the screens, but her heart was racing. "Ma'am, we're getting a transmission," said Lieutenant Rodriguez from his station. "It's coming from the alien ship." "Put it on screen," Chen ordered. The main screen flickered and changed. A face appeared that was not human. The creature had pale blue skin that looked like crystal. Its eyes were large and completely black. When it spoke, its voice sounded like music, but cold music that made people feel afraid. "I am Vexithara Prime of the Galactic Council," the creature said. "We speak for 12 species that rule this part of space. We have been watching your world for some time." Admiral Chen stepped forward. "This is Admiral Sarah Chen of Earth Defense. Command. Welcome to our solar system. We hope this can be the start of peaceful contact between our peoples." The crystal being made a sound that might have been laughter, but it was not a happy sound. "Peaceful contact? Your species has no understanding of peace. We have watched your wars. We have seen your violence. You are a danger to all civilized life." Dr. Marcus Webb entered the command center just as these words were spoken. He was a tall man with messy brown hair and glasses. He was Earth's best. Expert on alien languages and cultures, even though he had never met an alien before today. He moved to stand beside Admiral Chen. "Perhaps there has been a misunderstanding," Dr. Webb said in a calm voice. "Humanity has indeed had conflicts in our past, but we have also made great progress toward peace. We would like to learn from older civilizations like yours." "Learn?" Vexithara's voice became even colder. "You speak of learning while your people build weapons in space. You speak of peace while you prepare for war among the stars." "Admiral," Chen felt a chill run down her back. How much did these aliens know about Earth's space programs? Some of those programs were highly classified. The alien continued speaking. "The Galactic Council has made a decision about your species. You will accept our guidance, or you will be stopped before you can spread your violence to other worlds." "What kind of guidance?" Dr. Webb asked. "You will stop all space travel beyond your moon. You will destroy all weapons that can reach beyond your atmosphere. You will allow our peacekeepers to monitor your planet to make sure you follow these rules. You will do this willingly, or we will make you do it." Admiral Chen felt anger building inside her chest, but she kept her voice level. "And if we refuse? Then we will take action to protect the galaxy from your species. We have done this before with other young races that could not control their violent nature. Some chose wisdom, others chose to learn the hard way." The screen showed more alien faces now. There was a creature that looked like a giant insect with too many eyes. Another looked like a plant made of metal. They all stared at the humans with expressions that seemed to say humans were nothing more than dangerous animals. "You have 72 hours to decide," Vexithara said. "Send your answer to this ship. Choose wisely. This is the only chance your species will get." The transmission ended. The command center was very quiet for a long moment. "Ma'am," Lieutenant Rodriguez said softly, "should I contact Earth Command?" "Yes," Admiral Chen said. "Get me a direct line to the President and the Joint Chiefs. Also, send a message to every defense installation in the system. Tell them to go to alert status, but do not take any aggressive action, not yet." Dr. Webb was staring at the screen where the alien faces had been. "Admiral, I don't think they're bluffing. That ship could probably destroy our entire orbital infrastructure without much effort." "Maybe," Chen said. "But that doesn't mean we're going to roll over and let them put a leash on humanity." Over the next 24 hours, the most important people on Earth held emergency meetings. Presidents, prime ministers, generals, and scientists all tried to figure out what to do. Some wanted to accept the alien demands. Others wanted to fight. Most were simply scared. Admiral Chen found herself in a secure conference room deep inside the United Nations building in New York. The room was full of world leaders and military commanders. Everyone was talking at once until the Secretary General called for order. "The aliens have given us a choice," said President Morrison of the United States. "Submit or fight a war we cannot win." "We don't know that we cannot win," said General Petrov from Russia. "We know nothing about their real capabilities. We know they have ships that can cross space between stars," said Prime Minister Liu from China. "We can barely reach Mars." Dr. Webb stood up from his seat. "If I may, I think we're missing something important here. These aliens aren't trying to destroy us completely. They want to control us. That means they think we're worth keeping alive." "What's your point?" asked President Morrison. "My point is that they see us as a threat, not just a small threat, but a threat worth sending a council ship to deal with personally. Why would they do that if we're just primitive savages?" Admiral Chen nodded slowly. "The doctor has a point. They're not here to explore or trade. They're here to stop us from becoming something they're afraid of." "So what do we do?" asked the Secretary General. The room was quiet again. Finally, Admiral Chen spoke. "We tell them no." "That's suicide," said someone from the back of the room. "Maybe," Chen said. "But it's better than slavery. Besides, they gave us 72 hours to decide. They didn't attack immediately. That tells me something." "What does it tell you?" asked President Morrison. "It tells me they want us to surrender because fighting us might be harder than they're letting on." Dr. Webb looked thoughtful. "Admiral, you might be right. In all my studies of first contact scenarios, the species that offers ultimatums is usually the one that's not completely confident in their position." The debate continued for hours, but in the end, Earth's leaders made their choice. They would not accept the alien demands. They would not surrender humanity's future to beings who saw them as nothing more than dangerous animals to be caged. Admiral Chen was chosen to deliver the message to the alien ship. She stood once again in the command center of the orbital platform. The alien ship still hung above the moon like a silver threat. "Open a channel to the alien vessel," she ordered. The crystal face of Vexithara appeared on the screen again. "Have you made your decision?" Admiral Chen looked directly into those black alien eyes. "We have. The answer is no. Humanity will not accept your terms." Vexithara was quiet for a moment. Then it made that cold, laughing sound again. "So be it. You have chosen the hard way. We will begin corrective measures immediately. Do not say you were not warned." The transmission ended. Admiral Chen turned to her crew. "All stations, prepare for hostile action. Send word to Earth Command. Tell them it's starting." Above the moon, the silver ship began to glow with a light that had never been seen in Earth's sky before. The first attack came at dawn, Geneva time. Sarah Martinez was walking to work in the early morning sunlight when the sky above Geneva suddenly turned white. The light was so bright that everyone on the street stopped and looked up. For a moment, the whole city was silent. Then the beam hit. The energy weapon from the alien ship struck the center of Geneva with the force of a small nuclear bomb, but without the radiation. Buildings simply vanished. People disappeared in an instant. The headquarters of the United Nations, where world leaders had met just hours before, became a crater of melted glass and twisted metal. 200,000 people died in 30 seconds. Admiral Chen watched the destruction from her orbital platform. Her screens showed the attack in real time. She saw the beam of light reach down from space like the finger of an angry god. She saw the city disappear in a flash of superheated air and fire. "Communications lost with Geneva," reported Lieutenant Rodriguez. His voice was shaking. "Earth Command is requesting immediate status report." Chen's hands gripped the arms of her command chair so tightly that her knuckles turned white. She had seen war before. She had seen people die in battle. But she had never seen anything like this. An entire city gone in the time it took to blink. "Ma'am, we're receiving another transmission from the alien ship," said Communications Officer Park. "Put it through." Vexithera's crystal face appeared on the screen again. The alien looked exactly the same as before, but now its black eyes seemed to glow with satisfaction. "This was a demonstration," the alien said. "Your weapons cannot reach us. Your defenses cannot stop us. We can destroy any target on your planet from perfect safety. Surrender now, and no more cities will die." Admiral Chen stood up slowly. She looked directly at the alien and spoke in a voice that was completely calm, even though her heart was full of rage. "You just murdered 200,000 innocent people." "We eliminated a military target and enemy command center," Vexithera replied. "Your leaders chose war. This is what war looks like when fought against the Galactic Council. And you think this will make us surrender?" The alien made that cold, laughing sound again. "Look at your screens, Admiral. Look at your orbital installations." Chen turned to the tactical display. Her blood turned to ice. 3 of Earth's largest space stations were gone. Just gone. No explosions, no debris, nothing. They had simply been erased from existence while she was watching Geneva burn. "Your space-based weapons have been eliminated," Vexthera continued. "Your satellites are being destroyed as we speak. Soon you will have no way to communicate across your planet, no way to coordinate resistance. Your surrender is inevitable." The alien was right about the satellites. Chen could see them disappearing from the tracking screens one by one. Earth's global communications network was being systematically destroyed. But the alien was wrong about one thing. Chen was not thinking about surrender. She was thinking about revenge. "We need to evacuate this platform," she told her crew. "Everyone to the escape pods now." "Ma'am, what about our orders to defend Earth's orbital space?" asked. "Lieutenant Rodriguez, our orders just changed. Earth needs us alive more than it needs us dead heroes. Move!" As her crew rushed to the escape pods, Chen activated the platform's self-destruct sequence. If the aliens wanted to destroy human installations, they could have this one for free, but they would not capture it intact. The escape pods launched, just as beams of alien energy began cutting the platform apart. Chen watched through the pod's small window as her command post was torn to pieces by weapons that turned solid metal into glowing vapor. But as her pod fell toward Earth's atmosphere, Chen was not thinking about the destruction behind her. She was thinking about a conversation she had 2 years ago with a man named Colonel James Harrison. Harrison worked for a part of Earth's military that officially did not exist. His job was to prepare for threats that most people thought were impossible. Threats like alien invasion. "Admiral," Harrison had said during that long-ago meeting, "what would you do if hostile aliens showed up tomorrow?" "Fight them with everything we have," Chen had answered, "even if everything we have is not enough. Especially then." Harrison had smiled at her answer. "Good. Because if that day ever comes, you're going to need to know about Project Prometheus." Project E. Prometheus. Chen had almost forgotten about it in the chaos of first contact, but now, falling toward Earth in an escape pod, while alien ships destroyed human civilization above her, she remembered every word of that classified briefing. The rescue. Teams found Chen's pod in a field outside Paris. She was bruised and angry, but alive. Within an hour, she was in a helicopter flying toward a location that did not appear on any map. The underground facility was built into a mountain in Switzerland. Chen had been there once before, 2 years ago, but she had never seen it fully operational. Now the place was buzzing with activity. Scientists and engineers worked at computer stations that lined massive underground chambers. The air hummed with the sound of machinery that Chen did not recognize. Colonel Harrison met her at the main entrance. He was a tall, thin man with gray hair and cold blue eyes. He had the look of someone who had been expecting this day for a very long time. "Admiral Chen," he said as they walked through corridors carved from solid rock. "I'm sorry about Geneva. I'm sorry about your people on the orbital platforms." "Thank you," Chen said, "but I'm not here for sympathy. I'm here because we need to hit back." "We will," Harrison said. "But first, you need to understand what you're looking at." They entered a huge chamber that stretched deeper into the mountain than Chen could see. The walls were lined with machinery that looked like nothing she had ever seen before. Some of it looked almost alien. "What is this place?" she asked. "This is where we've been preparing for today for the last 50 years, Harrison said. "Ever. Since we detected the first alien radio signals, we've known this day would come. We've been getting ready." He led her to a window that looked down into an even larger chamber. Below them, Chen could see ships, but these were not the ships that Earth publicly admitted to having. These ships were sleek and black and moved in ways that seemed to ignore the laws of physics. "How is this possible?" Chen asked. "Turns out humans are very good at finding alien crash sites," Harrison said with a grim smile. "We've been reverse engineering their technology for decades, learning their science, understanding their weaknesses." "And you never told anyone?" "We told the people who needed to know, the people who could help us prepare. Everyone else would have panicked, or demanded we share the technology publicly, or tried to use it for profit instead of defense." Chen stared at the ships below. "How many do we have?" "Enough," Harrison said. "The aliens think they're fighting primitive humans with chemical rockets and nuclear weapons. They have no idea what we're really capable of. But they destroyed our orbital defenses so easily." "Those defenses were meant to be destroyed," Harrison said. "We needed the aliens to think they had won the opening round. We needed them to get confident and careless." Chen felt something she had not felt since watching Geneva burn. She felt hope. "What do you need from me?" she asked. "We need someone to command the fleet," Harrison said. "Someone the crews will follow into a fight they might not come back from. Someone who has seen what these aliens are capable of and still wants to fight them." Chen looked down at the impossible ships in the chamber below. Ships built with alien technology, crewed by humans who had trained in secret for decades, waiting for this moment. "When do we launch?" she asked. "Tonight," Harrison said. "The aliens think they've crippled us. They think we're helpless. They're about to learn how wrong they are." In orbit above Earth, the silver alien ship continued its systematic destruction of human satellites and space installations. Vexthara and the other council members watched the screens that showed Earth's orbital defenses being eliminated one by one. "The humans are learning the price of defiance," said the insect-like Corvani delegate. "Soon they will beg for mercy." "Perhaps," said Vexthara, "but something feels wrong. Their resistance ended too quickly. Where are their hidden weapons? Where are their secret bases?" "You worry too much," said another council member. "They are primitives. This is all they have." Vexthara was not convinced, but it said nothing more. Perhaps the other council members were right. Perhaps humans really were as weak as they seemed. Below them, in a mountain in Switzerland, Admiral Chen strapped herself into the command chair of humanity's first true starship. Around her, the best pilots and officers Earth had ever trained prepared for a mission that would either save their species or die trying. The war was about to begin in earnest. Deep beneath the mountain, Admiral Chen stood before the largest gathering of military personnel she had ever seen. The briefing chamber was packed with pilots, engineers, communications specialists, and soldiers. These were not ordinary military personnel. These were people who had been training for this day their entire careers. Colonel Harrison stepped up to the podium. Behind him, a massive screen showed a map of local space that included star systems Chen had never heard of in any public astronomy report. "Ladies and gentlemen," Harrison began, Everything you are about to hear is classified at the highest levels, but after today it won't matter, because after today, the whole world will know. The screen changed to show what looked like an alien spacecraft, but it was clearly damaged and partially buried in ice. 1954. Antarctica. A Soviet exploration team found this crash site and reported it to their government. The Americans found out 6 months later. Instead of fighting over it, both sides decided to work together. They realized that if one alien ship had crashed on Earth, others might come looking for it. The image changed to show the same crash site, but now it was surrounded by a massive research facility hidden under the ice. For 70 years, the brightest minds from every nation on Earth have been studying that ship, learning how their technology works, understanding their science, and preparing for the day when more aliens would come. Chen felt her heart racing. 70 years of secret preparation. No wonder Harrison had seemed so confident. The aliens call, themselves the Galactic Council, Harrison continued. They have ruled this part of space for thousands of years. They are advanced, powerful, and completely convinced that they are superior to any younger species. The screen now showed detailed technical diagrams of alien ships and weapons, but they have one major weakness. They are arrogant. They believe that any species younger than them must be primitive and helpless. They cannot imagine that a species like humanity could learn their technology and improve on it. A new image appeared. It showed human ships, but these ships incorporated alien technology in ways that made them look both familiar and completely foreign. We have spent decades not just copying their technology, but making it better. Human engineering combined with alien science has created weapons and ships that the Council has never seen before. Lieutenant Commander Sarah Kim, one of Chen's former officers from the orbital platform, raised her hand. Sir, if we've had this technology for so long, why didn't we use it when they first attacked? Harrison smiled grimly. Because we needed them to think they had won. We needed them to get confident and stop being careful. The best way to beat an enemy is to let them think they're winning right up until the moment you destroy them. Tapachai. Screen changed again. Now it showed a real-time image of the alien ship hanging above Earth's moon. The ship up there represents just one small part of the Council's military power. If we had attacked them immediately, they would have called for reinforcements. We would have been fighting the entire Council fleet. Chen understood. But if we wait for them to get comfortable, if we let them think Earth is beaten, then, when we hit back, it will be a complete surprise. Harrison finished. And by the time they realize what's happening, it will be too late for them to call for help. Dr. Webb, who had been silent during the briefing, spoke up. Colonel, you're talking about starting a war with an interstellar empire. Even if we win this battle, what happens when the rest of the Council finds out? Harrison's expression became very serious. Doctor, the Council has already decided that humanity is too dangerous to exist. They're not going to change their minds. Our only choice is to make them regret that decision. The screen now showed detailed battle plans. Ships would launch from hidden bases around the world. Their first targets would be Council installations in nearby star systems. The element of surprise will only last so long, Harrison explained. Once the Council realizes what's happening, they'll mobilize everything they have against us. That's why our first strikes have to be devastating. We need to cripple their ability to coordinate and communicate. Chen studied the tactical displays. The plan was incredibly complex and incredibly risky. It would require perfect timing and absolute precision. What about the ship in our solar system? She asked. That's your target, Admiral, Harrison said. While the strike teams hit Council bases in other systems, you'll take the flagship and eliminate the ship that destroyed Geneva. Chen felt a cold satisfaction at those words. The ship that had murdered 200,000 innocent people would pay for what it had done. How many ships do we have? Asked Commander Kim. Enough, Harrison said. We've been building them in secret facilities on the dark side of the moon, in asteroid bases, in hidden shipyards that don't appear on any civilian maps. The Council knows about our public space program. but they have no idea about the real one. The briefing continued for 2 more hours. Chen learned about weapons that could destroy alien ships from inside their own shields. She learned about human ships that could become invisible to alien sensors. She learned about cyber warfare programs, designed to attack alien computer systems. But the most important thing she learned was that humanity had not been sitting idle for the past 70 years. While the world's public attention was focused on normal space exploration, Earth's best scientists and engineers had been preparing for a war that most people never imagined. As the briefing ended, Chen found herself in a smaller room with Harrison and a few other senior officers. On the table in front of them was a communication device unlike anything Chen had seen before. "What is that?" she asked. "A quantum communicator based on alien technology," Harrison explained. "It allows instant communication across any distance. The aliens have been using similar devices to coordinate their empire for centuries. And now we have them too?" "We have something better," Harrison said with satisfaction. "We have devices that can tap into their communications network without them knowing it. For the past 6 months, we've been listening to every message the Council sends." Chen stared at the device. "You mean we know their battle plans?" "We know everything. Their fleet positions, their supply lines, their command structure. We even know which Council members are starting to have doubts about this war." The implications hit Chen like a physical blow. If humanity could monitor Council communications, they would have an enormous advantage in any conflict. "There's something else," Harrison said quietly. "The Council isn't as united as they pretend to be. Some species are only part of the Alliance because they're afraid of the others. If we can show them that the Council can be beaten..." "Some of them might switch sides," Chen finished. "Or at least refuse to fight for them," Harrison agreed. "The Council's greatest strength is that everyone believes they're unbeatable. Once that belief is broken, their whole empire becomes vulnerable." Chen looked around the room at the other officers. These people had been keeping the most important secret in human history for decades. They had watched the world go about its normal business while preparing for a war that might determine the survival of their species. "When do we begin?" she asked. Harrison checked his watch. "The first strike teams launch in 6 hours. You'll take the flagship out 12 hours after that. By tomorrow morning, the Council will know that they made a terrible mistake when they decided to threaten humanity." Chen nodded. Tomorrow, the aliens would learn that the primitive species they had planned to enslave was far more dangerous than they had ever imagined. As she left the briefing room, Chen thought about Geneva. She thought about the people who had died in that flash of alien light. She thought about the orbital stations that had been destroyed without warning. The aliens had started this war because they believed humans were too violent and aggressive to be allowed to reach the stars. Tomorrow, Chen thought grimly, they would discover just how violent and aggressive humans could be when someone they loved was threatened. In orbit above Earth, the Council ship continued its patrol. Vexathara and the other aliens monitored their sensors, watching for any sign of human resistance. But their sensors were designed to detect alien technology, not human modifications of alien technology. They saw nothing as the first human ships began to move in the darkness of space, heading for targets the Council never imagined were under threat. The war was about to escalate beyond anything the Galactic Council could have predicted. The first target was the Council monitoring station in the Alpha Centauri system. Captain Maria Santos piloted her ship through the darkness between stars, using technology that made her vessel invisible to alien sensors. Behind her, 5 more. Human ships followed in perfect formation. They had traveled 4 light-years in just 6 hours using engines that should not have existed. "Target acquired," reported her weapons officer, Lieutenant Jackson. "Council station is exactly where intelligence said it would be." Santos looked at the tactical display. The alien monitoring station was huge, built to watch over dozens of star systems and coordinate Council operations across this entire sector of space. It was also completely undefended because the Council had never imagined that primitive humans could build ships capable of interstellar travel. "Remember the plan," Santos told her crew. "No survivors, no distress signals, no evidence of what? Hit them! The Council needs to think their station just vanished." "Ma'am, I'm detecting automated systems trying to scan us," reported the sensor operator. "Let them scan," Santos said calmly. "They're looking for Council technology. They have no idea how to detect human modifications." The alien station continued its normal operations, completely unaware that 6 human warships were moving into attack position. Santos watched the countdown timer on her command screen. In 30 seconds, similar attacks would begin at Council installations in 8 other star systems. "All ships, prepare to fire," she ordered. The weapons that fired were based on alien technology but improved by human engineering. Instead of simple energy beams, the human ships launched weapons that could phase through alien shields and destroy targets from the inside out. The Council monitoring station simply ceased to exist. One moment it was there, a massive structure of alien metal and crystal. The next moment, there was nothing but scattered atoms drifting in space. "Target destroyed," reported Lieutenant Jackson. "No debris larger than a molecule." "Good," Santos said. "Set course for the secondary target and send the coded signal to Earth Command. Tell them Alpha Centauri is clear." 3 star systems away, Commander David Park watched as his team destroyed a Council supply depot that had been feeding alien fleets for over a century. The depot's automated defenses tried to respond, but human cyber warfare programs had already taken control of their computer systems. In the Vega system, Lieutenant Colonel Sarah Martinez led a strike against a Council communication relay. The relay was supposed to be impossible to attack, protected by weapons that could destroy entire fleets. But Martinez's ships approached from a direction that the alien sensors could not detect, using human stealth technology that bent space itself around their hulls. One by one, the Council's carefully built infrastructure began to disappear. Back in Earth's solar system, Admiral Chen prepared for the most important mission of her life. Her flagship, the Prometheus, was unlike any ship humanity had ever built before. It combined the best of human engineering with technology stolen from the crashed alien ship in Antarctica. "Admiral, we're receiving reports from the strike teams," reported Communications Officer Davis. "All primary targets have been eliminated. Council forces in 9 star systems have been neutralized." Chen nodded. Phase 1 of the operation was complete. Now came the hard part. "Signal all ships," she ordered. "Begin Phase 2. Above Earth's moon, the Council ship detected the first anomaly when their communication with the Alpha Centauri station went silent. Vexithara stared at the communication panel with growing confusion. "Technical difficulties?" suggested the Corvani delegate. "Perhaps," Vexithara said, but its crystalline features showed concern. "Try the Vega relay." No response. The Proxima depot. Nothing. "How many stations are not responding?" Vexithara asked. The ship's communications officer checked the displays. "All of them, prime. Every Council installation within 10 light years has gone silent." The Council members looked at each other with expressions that would have been fear on human faces. "Impossible," said the insect-like Corvani. "The humans have no ships capable of interstellar travel. Our intelligence is very clear on this point." "Then explain what is happening," Vexithara demanded. Before anyone could answer, the ship's sensors detected something that made every alien on board freeze with shock. Ships were approaching from Earth, not the primitive chemical rockets that humanity was supposed to have, but vessels that moved like Council ships using technology that humans were not supposed to possess. "Battle stations," Vexithara ordered. "All weapons to full power." The Council ship's weapons came online, but something was wrong. The targeting systems could not lock onto the human ships. The sensors showed them clearly, but the weapons acted as if there was nothing there to shoot at. "What is wrong with our systems?" Vexithara demanded. I don't know, Prime, the weapons officer replied. The humans are using some kind of technology that our sensors cannot properly identify. Admiral Chen watched the alien ship struggle with its weapons systems and smiled grimly. Human scientists had spent decades studying alien technology, learning not just how it worked, but how to fool it. Take us in closer, she ordered. I want to look them in the eye when we finish this. The Prometheus moved toward the Council ship, with perfect confidence. Around it, 5 more human vessels took up attack positions. The aliens could see them coming, but could do nothing to stop them. Admiral, we're receiving a transmission from the alien ship, reported communications officer. Davis, put it through! Vexathera's crystal face appeared on the main screen. For the first time since Chen had met this alien, it looked afraid. How? Vexathera asked. How do you have this technology? Chen leaned back in her command chair. You made 2 mistakes, she said calmly. First, you assumed we were primitive, just because we're young. Second, you left one of your ships where we could find it. The alien's black eyes went wide with understanding. The scout ship that crashed 70 years ago. We thought it was destroyed in the solar radiation. It was damaged, Chen agreed, but not destroyed. We've had a very long time to study it. Impossible. You could not have learned our science so quickly. Chen's smile became colder. You underestimated human curiosity. We didn't just learn your science, we improved it. The truth was starting to sink in for the council members on the alien ship. The primitive species they had planned to enslave had been secretly building a fleet of advanced warships. The helpless humans they thought they were bullying had technology that was in some ways superior to their own. What do you want? Vexathera asked. I want you to think about Geneva, Chen said. I want you to think about the 200,000 people you murdered. Then I want you to send a message to your council. What message? Tell them that Earth is no longer interested in being part of their galactic community. Tell them that any council ship that enters our solar system will be destroyed. Tell them that the age of council dominance is over. Vexathera's crystal features hardened. You cannot fight the entire council. We have thousands of ships, millions of soldiers. And we have something you don't, Chen replied. We have the element of surprise, and we have your communications codes. We've been listening to your conversations for months. We know where every council ship is located. We know which planets support you, and which ones are only afraid of you, the POS. Alien was silent for a long moment. Chen could see it processing the implications of what she had said. You mean to start a war that will spread across the galaxy? Vexathera said finally. No, Chen corrected. You already started that war when you destroyed Geneva. We're going to finish it. She turned to her weapons officer. Target their engines and weapon systems. I want them alive to deliver our message. Admiral, Vexathera said urgently, if you attack this ship, the Council will send everything they have against your world. Chen's expression did not change. Let them come. By the time their reinforcements arrive, we'll be ready for them too. The human weapons fired with surgical precision. The Council ship's engines exploded in carefully controlled blasts that disabled the vessel without destroying it. Their weapons systems simply melted under the assault of human technology that the aliens had no defense against. In minutes, the mighty Council warship that had destroyed Geneva was reduced to a helpless hulk drifting in space near Earth's moon. Send the message, Chen ordered. A data packet containing the full record of the Council's attack on Earth, along with evidence of the human response, was transmitted to every Council world simultaneously. The message was simple. Earth was no longer a target to be bullied. It was an enemy to be feared. As the Prometheus and its escort ships turned away from the disabled alien vessel, Chen allowed herself a moment of satisfaction. The Council had wanted to judge humanity's fitness to join galactic civilization. They were about to learn that humanity had decided to judge them instead. Admiral, reported Communications Officer Davis. "We're receiving status reports from all strike teams. 23 Council installations have been destroyed or captured. Estimated enemy casualties are over 50,000. Chen nodded. It was a good start, but it was only a start. The real war was just beginning. "Set course for the asteroid belt," she ordered. "It's time to show the Council what human engineering can really do." The emergency session of the Galactic Council took place in the Great Crystal Chamber on the planet Nexus Prime. 12 species that had ruled the galaxy for thousands of years gathered in a room that had never known defeat. Today, for the first time in recorded history, they were there to discuss their own survival. Vexithera Prime stood at the center of the chamber, its crystalline body showing stress fractures that had never been there before. Around the circular room, the other council members sat in their traditional positions. But nothing about this day was traditional. "Report," commanded Overlord Thane of the Corvani Empire. The insect-like being's compound eyes glittered with barely controlled panic. "In the past 48 hours, we have lost contact with 67 installations across 9 star systems," Vexithara began. "Fleet bases, communication relays, supply depots, monitoring stations, all destroyed or captured." Captured? The plant-like Verdani delegate's voice rustled like leaves in a storm. "Who could capture council facilities?" "The humans," Vexithera said simply. The chamber erupted in sounds that no human ear could have interpreted, but which clearly expressed disbelief, fear, and anger. "Impossible," declared General Crix of the Metallic Hegemony. "Our intelligence reports indicated they possessed only primitive chemical propulsion and nuclear weapons. Our intelligence was wrong," Vexithera said. "The humans have been hiding their true capabilities for decades. They possess technology that matches our own, and in some cases exceeds it." High Counselor Zaroon of the Ethereal Collective spoke in a voice like distant thunder. "How many ships do they have?" "Unknown. They have attacked simultaneously in 9 star systems. Conservative estimates suggest a fleet of at least 200 vessels, possibly more." The chamber fell silent. 200 ships capable of faster-than-light travel represented a fleet larger than most council species possessed individually. "This is unacceptable," growled war leader Brutus of the Savage Clans. "We must mobilize the entire council fleet and crush them immediately." "With what?" Vexithara asked bitterly. "They have destroyed our forward bases, captured our supply lines, and compromised our communications. Worse, they seem to know our fleet positions before we move them." "What do you mean?" asked High Counselor Zarin. "They are intercepting our transmissions. Everything we say, every order we give, they hear it before our own commanders do." The implications of this statement struck the council members like a physical blow. If the humans could monitor council communications, then every plan, every strategy, every fleet movement was known to the enemy before it began. "We could use quantum-encrypted channels," suggested the Corvani Overlord. "They are using quantum-encrypted channels," Vexithera replied. "Somehow they have gained access to our entire communication network." Overlord Thane's many eyes blinked in sequence, a sign of extreme distress. "If they have our communication codes, then they have been planning this for years," Vexithara finished. "Possibly decades. This was not a desperate response to our ultimatum. This was a carefully prepared military operation. The truth was even worse than the council members suspected. At that very moment, human operatives were inside the council chamber itself, invisible to alien sensors and recording every word of the emergency session. Captain Lisa Park crouched motionless in the shadows above the crystal chamber, her suit's stealth field making her completely undetectable to council security systems. The recording device in her hand captured every detail of the alien panic. The humans had not just learned to copy council technology, they had learned to improve it, Park's stealth suit used principles that the Council scientists had theorized about but never successfully implemented. Her communication device could transmit instantly across galactic distances without leaving any trace that aliens could detect. As she listened to the Council debate their response to human attacks, Park smiled grimly. Everything they were planning, Admiral Chen would know about within minutes. Back on Earth, Chen stood in the command center that had been built deep inside Cheyenne Mountain. The facility had been expanded far beyond its original design and now housed the most advanced military technology humanity had ever created. "Admiral, we're receiving the live feed from Nexus Prime," reported Captain Rodriguez, who had survived the destruction of the orbital platform and now served as Chen's intelligence officer. "Put it on screen." The crystal chamber of the Galactic Council appeared on the main display. Chen watched as 12 species that had terrorized the galaxy for millennia argued about how to respond to humanity's attacks. "They're scared," observed Dr. Webb, who stood beside Chen's command chair. "I've been studying their body language and vocal patterns. They're genuinely terrified." Chen nodded. Fear was what she had been counting on. The Council's greatest strength had always been their reputation for invincibility. Once that reputation was broken, their empire would begin to collapse from within. "Status report on Operation Prometheus," she ordered. "Phase 3 is proceeding ahead of schedule," reported Colonel Harrison. "Strike teams have secured 12 Council worlds. Local populations are either surrendering or actively helping us. Apparently, most species in the galaxy are not big fans of Council rule. Resistance? Minimal. Council forces are designed to intimidate primitive civilizations, not fight a technologically equal opponent. Our ships are faster, our weapons are more accurate, and our tactics are completely unpredictable." Chen allowed herself a moment of satisfaction. 70 years of secret preparation were paying off exactly as planned. "What about the main council? Fleet?" "Still trying to figure out where we're going to hit next," Harrison said with a grin. "Every time they move ships to defend one system, we attack 3 others. They can't be everywhere at once." On the screen, the council members continued their increasingly desperate debate. Chen listened as they proposed various strategies, each one more desperate than the last. "They're talking about withdrawing to their core systems," Dr. Webb observed. "Good," Chen said. "Let them. The more they concentrate their forces, the easier it will be to destroy them all at once." The conversation in the council chamber suddenly stopped as Vex Thera received an urgent communication. The crystal being's features went even paler as it listened to the message. "What now?" demanded Overlord Thane. "The humans have just destroyed the Sentinel fleet," Vexathera announced. The chamber erupted in chaos. The Sentinel fleet was the Council's most powerful military force, a collection of 500 ships that had never lost a battle in over 1,000 years. "How many ships did we lose?" asked War Leader Brutus. "All of them." The silence that followed was deeper than space itself. "How many human casualties?" whispered High Counselor Zarin. "None. The humans used some kind of weapon that simply unmade the ships. No explosions, no debris, nothing. 500 of our finest vessels just ceased to exist." Chen smiled as she watched the aliens struggle to understand what had happened. The weapon that had destroyed the Sentinel fleet was humanity's greatest achievement, a device that could unravel the quantum bonds holding matter together. It was based on Council science, but human physicists had taken the theory far beyond anything the aliens had imagined possible. "Admiral," said Captain Rodriguez, "we're receiving surrender offers from 17 Council member species." "Deny them all," Chen ordered. "We're not interested in their surrender. We want them gone." Dr. Webb looked surprised. "Admiral, if they're willing to surrender—" "They had their chance to be reasonable," Chen said coldly. "They chose to murder civilians instead. Now they face the consequences." On the screen, Vexathera was speaking again, its voice hollow with defeat. High Counselors, War Leaders, Overlords, it began formally. I must report that the Galactic Council is no longer capable of maintaining order in our territories. Human forces have destroyed or captured over 300 of our installations. They have eliminated our most powerful fleet. They have turned half our member species against us. What are you saying? Demanded Overlord Thane. I am saying that we have lost this war. The words hung in the air like a death sentence. For the first time in galactic history, the Council was admitting defeat. But even as they spoke, human ships were moving into position around Nexus Prime itself. The Council's capital world, the center of their galactic empire, was about to be surrounded by the primitive species they had tried to enslave. Admiral Chen watched the tactical display as her ships took up positions around the alien homeworld. In a few hours, she would give the Council members one final choice: complete surrender and exile from the galaxy, or total annihilation. As she prepared for the final phase of Operation Prometheus, Chen thought about Geneva. She thought about the innocent people who had died simply because humanity had refused to accept alien domination. Their deaths would not be forgotten, and they would be avenged. Admiral, reported Captain Rodriguez, all ships are in position, around Nexus Prime. The Council is trapped. Chen stood up from her command chair and walked to the viewing window that looked out over the human fleet. Ships that had been built in secret, crewed by people who had trained their entire lives for this moment, powered by technology that combined human ingenuity with alien science. Open a channel to the Council chamber, she ordered.